any painting, even some genius artwork, in our material world, in our regular dimension, and in materialistic meaning, is nothing but just a piece of framed canvas, covered by several layers of dry paint. Nothing else, literally. But looking at some artworks, we usually see something absolutely different than just pigmented layers of paint. We see something beyond this material stuff. We see absolutely other meaning than just dry film of paint on a canvas. We see some kind of other dimension. We see things, persons, scenes, landscapes and so on, which actually does not exist in this material reality, right now in this moment while we're watching this painting. But we see this artworks the same way as we get an image of material reality around us. Moreover, by watching this upper dimension reality hidden behind the artwork, sometimes we can get a newer experience from it. This upper dimension reality, hidden behind the canvas and paint, can teach us, can give us new information, and newer experience. An experience taken from these artworks can make changes inside ourselves and in our surroundings. So what does it mean? Does it mean that we can get an experience from illusion? From something what not exist? This is nonsense. And so, we have to come to the conclusion that this upper dimension, hidden behind the canvases and dry paint, this upper reality above the canvas and dry paint, actually not an illusion. This is something real, as well as any material stuff around us. But this reality just following some different kind of logic, which we are not accustomed for now in general. The matter is, that Aristotle's logic is not only one logic in the world. Usually we call this kind of perception of artworks just as an imagination. But actually everything what we see around us in our everyday life, in actuality is also just an imagination, for this is just a sophisticate combination and constructions of cell network inside our brain. Nothing else. But nevertheless we consider it as reality. The same story with atheism and religious. What is praying, icons, religious sculptures, chants, churches, candles and so on, and religious attributes? This is just like a clay to create sculpture, like a line of symbols which coding a novel, or like a paint which express an image. This is like a bricks which create a building of our faith, or build in our upper dimension divine reality. And we really see it, we see that this is real, and it is real indeed. The faith, religious, and God are something beyond the material religious attributes like sculptures, icons, scriptures, books, priest messages, paintings, chorales, buildings and so on. But we have to read it the same way as we read the artist's masterpiece, and the same way as we see this upper reality of the painting which spreads beyond the material paint on canvas. When we read a book, we don't read just as symbols on a paper. We read stories, we read and mentally see real world behind that white paper and tricky symbols on it. While reading a book, we finally even don't pay attention to the symbols, fonts, paper, book size. For it is absolutely not important. What is important is reality above the font and paper, which is just a door to upper reality, which spreads beyond this material stuff. And it is reality indeed. For example, many science fiction authors are not just predicted the future, but they constructed it and bring it to reality. And actually human brain just physiologically cannot imagine nothing, what cannot exist in reality. But what atheists sees in religion, they usually see just a material stuff, as it is. They see nothing beyond icons, chants, candles, books, sculptures, and so on. The same way as somebody does not see nothing beyond the canvas and dry pigmented paint while looking on a painting. That's why, yes, reality beyond the external material characteristics of painting, as a combination of chemical elements, for atheists, in most cases do not exist. The novel beyond the symbols on a paper not exist for somebody who can't read, who consider the letters on a paper just as a sort of ornament. But this is not a problem of novel, this is a problem of those who don't know how to read. So, we can say that reality is not just what we see every day around us, but this material stuff, in a sophisticated combination, constructing or creating one big holographic picture of multiple dimension reality. This combination of different material things and circumstances around us as a big picture, trying to show us something, trying to inform us about something. And we have to try to understand the meaning of this global artwork, which God painting for us, by everyday circumstances, actions, and situations. Unfortunately, very often we don't even try to read it. We often ask it, while God keeps silence, why God doesn't talk to us, but He talk. The problem is that very often we don't know how to see, how to hear, how to read His messages. Our behavior, our relationships, our everyday activity, our habits, our friends, all these different objects we place around us in our everyday life. All these things are not just ordinary or random life situation. No. We have to understand that all these things are actually like a paints and canvas, by which we also creating our own masterpiece of our own life. The general artwork of our life. In that context, we all are artists. We all are creators, and we living our life with this general purpose, to create our personal, individual artwork, as a proof of our own existence in this world, to show it finally to our teacher, the Creator. For the creativity, literally, this is what belongs to the image of God, and only in this sense we all are His image, the image of God.